All right, so this is chapter 13 practice questions from the homework. Most of these are going to be pretty straightforward, okay? So when we're asking for profit margin, okay, so it says this question, you can read the whole thing, but a lot of it's just jargon until you get down to the very bottom part where they talk about net income and net sales, and says, what is the profit margin? Profit margin. There it is. Profit margin and net sales. Net income divided by net sales. That is it. Now, you will have to change it to percent and then round to the nearest 100%. So in this case, let me get my calculator out. Let me clear this. I've been doing a lot on this today. So again, net income, that is 38302 divided by net sales, 280585. Press enter. And again, change this to a percent. That means multiply it by 100. Again, you can move the decimal place 2 places if you're comfortable doing that. It's just easy to multiply by 100. All right. So now here's the thing. You have to change it to a percent first because you can't. It says nearest 100%. A lot of people round to the 100th place here and say 14%. You have to change to percent first, then round. So anytime you see 100%, make a note. Change to a percent first, then round to the second decimal place. So this is going to be 13.65. All right. You put 14, it's going to mark it wrong. It's got to be exact. Okay. That's number one. Again, formula is nice, very straightforward. Okay. Now this is, if you notice, has a part A here. So don't forget, there's a part B and C and D. Now, all of this is right here, and you're going to want to make note of this because this can be a little confusing. Let me get my pen. This. When it asks for total debt to total assets, total debt to total assets, total liabilities over total assets. So we have that. Total liabilities over total assets, done. Change it to nearest 100%. Again, run the formula, multiply by 100, and round after you change it to percent. So round to the second decimal after you change. So you should see a whole number point something something. Okay? Again, I'm not going to do it because it's a pretty straightforward question. Return on equity. Net income over stockholders' equity. Now this is where it gets a bit interesting because you don't see net income anywhere. You see stockholders' equity, but not in net income anywhere. Now that's where I'm going to mark on here with my pen. This right here, this is net income. If you just want to change that to income, go right ahead. Net earnings is net income. Make a note of that. Number 2, net earnings is net income. It says net revenue here. This is net sales because it's going to ask for net sales too. So this is net sales, this is net income. So in this second part, clear this. It says return on equity, net income over stockholders' equity. That's net earnings over stockholders' equity. The same thing. Okay. Asset turnover ratio. So net sales over total assets. So net sales over total assets. You have the information. See this, by the way, number C here is the only one you don't change to percent first. So number C is no percent symbol, so do not multiply by 100. Keep it as a decimal, round to the second decimal place. It doesn't say nearest 100%, it just says 100th. Everything else says 100%, so change to a decimal, or change to a percent first, then round. All right, profit margin ratio net sales. Again, profit margin net sales, net income over net sales. So all the formulas are right here. All right, the only tricky part on this stuff, there's a few of them that are a little interesting. All right, this one. All right, now there's no formula on here because it's the process. If you follow the PowerPoint, and hopefully you follow the directions and you watch the PowerPoint video before watching the practice question video. So, yeah. Then you have enough information to answer this question. All right. But what you're going to do is you're going to take every number here and divide it by 3056. This is your base year. So I'm going to divide all of these by 3056. Now, that means this right here is 100%. Always. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take 2992 and divide it by 3056. All right. And a lot of people would say, all right, 0.979, I'll round 0.98. And it changes it to 1. If it ever changes any of your answers to 1, that means you forgot to change it to a percent first. Now, here's the nice thing. They want nearest whole percent. So all we have to do is multiply this by 100. And round nearest whole number, 98. That is your answer. Not 0.98, not 1. If you ever get 1 on anything, something's wrong. Okay? If it ever changes it to a whole number 1, something's wrong. Read the directions. Make sure you know what you're doing on this question before you continue on. And so again, I'm going to divide this by 3056. Divide that by 3056. Divide that by 3056. Okay, all of them divided by the amount from the base year. Okay? Just show you that those two are correct because that's all not complete. Yeah, it's correct. All right. Same thing here. All these are going to be divided by the base year. Okay. Now what that means, since this right here is the base year, okay, all of these, this whole row is going to be divided by 560,000. Every number in this row is divided by 560,000. Every number in this row, oh, I made that so long. Every number in this row is going to be divided by 4,600 because that's the number for the base year. 460,000. Every number in this row divided by 56,000. Again, change nearest whole percent, which automatically means this first row here is 2015, since you're dividing by everything by the base year, 100, 100, 100. Okay, automatically. Because when you divide each of them by itself, easy enough. So again, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to this number divide by 5,600 or 560,000. This number divide by 560,000. This number divide by 560,000. That's your first row. Okay. Second row, divide by 460,000. Divide by 460,000. Divide by 460,000. Okay, so that's row 2. Row 3, divide by 56,000. Okay, so every number divided by the amount from the earliest year. That's how you answer this question. Again, change to a percent. Again, if you type in the number and it changes to 1, because this happens all the time. If your answer is 1, something's wrong. None of your answers are going to be 1. Now, this question can be confusing because it's not on here, except it is. Okay, it's right here. It's just not written in a way. You're given net income is 24061. You're not given gross profit. You're trying to find gross profit. You're giving operating expenses of 16216. So how do you think you're going to find gross profit? Okay, now, if you answered add 16216 to both sides to get gross profit by itself, the gross profit is the sum of these two, you're correct. Okay, you have a formula for gross profit right here. It's just not specifically finding gross profit. Usually you find net income, but this time they're asking for gross profit. So if you want gross profit, take net income plus operating expense. Next. This one's not on there either. This is, if you follow the PowerPoint, it's the first part of the PowerPoint. Net worth is assets minus liabilities. Okay. This one's straightforward. Now, the thing I'm going to warn you about in this question is what they want. Okay, current ratio says total. Let me highlight this. Is right. Total current assets divided by total current liabilities. So, so we can see everything. So we have current assets, and that's where people get stuck. They see total assets. Okay, does it say total assets or total current assets? Because guess what's right here? Total current assets. There's a difference because here it says total assets and total liabilities, and here it says total current assets and total current liabilities. If it says current, use the one that says current. It has to have that exact phrase: total current assets, total current liabilities. So there's total current assets, and here is total current liabilities. Make sure you only get this wrong if you're using the wrong one. Don't use total liabilities unless it asks for total liabilities. Okay? Make sure you use total current if it's asking for total current. Okay, straightforward question. Acid test. Now, this question I wrote differently than what's on the PowerPoint. I write it like this, where the this is in parentheses, because it needs to be in parentheses. Okay, so please put in parentheses when you do this. That's it. You'll be fine. All right, number 9. Average days collection. I also changed this formula. Right, because the formula on the PowerPoint is terrible. Do your formula like this: accounts receivable divided by net sales times 360. Just do it in order like that. Don't change anything. Just do it like that. So accounts receivable, I think it's up here. Okay, accounts receivable right here. Net sales. Now net sales is up here. Net sales right here. Okay. So there's your accounts receivable. There's your net sales. Do accounts receivable divided by net sales times 360. Okay, that's how you want to do it. Don't do it from the PowerPoint. It's not good. Last question. Filling out this chart. Okay. Now it should be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. All right. So really just go through the information and just mark it as whether it's an asset, liability, or owner's equity. Now keep in mind, anything with a name, okay, this is the owner's equity. Okay, anything with a name. That goes right here. All right, now cash, that's asset. Accounts payable, well, that's a liability. Okay. Merchandise inventory, that's an asset. Equipment, that's an asset. Okay, there's only one liability, which is accounts payable. Let's go over here. Go down. Have accounts receivable anywhere? I didn't see that. See, don't say cash. Put that on there. Equipment and merchandise inventory. Make sure that's on there. All right, and you put the right numbers. So cash is 41100. Equipment is 21100. Merchandise inventory 15100. Nice thing is it adds it up for you. The liability was the accounts payable, which accounts for 29100. All right, and then the owner's equity, which is the guy's name, Jim L. 48200. Now the big thing is these two need to add up to the same amount, and they do. All right, everything is good. Okay, even though you had extra spaces, doesn't mean you have to use them. You can only use the information you have. All right, and that's it for the Chapter 13 homework. Should be probably one of your easiest homework assignments. Okay. All right. You all have a good night and get the homework done.